Okay, now we're gonna talk about the 411. So, these two documents go hand in hand, okay? You could think of the 135 or the GPS as a one-page business plan, okay? When somebody writes a business plan and they got like a 25-page business plan, ain't none of that happening, right? It's too complex, and the mind's too scattered. It's gotta be a little bit more succinct than that, okay? So this is your one-page business plan, and that I would probably suggest visiting, like, let's say once a month, okay? The daily doc is what I would call the 4-in-1, okay? And I gave you a little different version of that in the binders that I call the daily success list. Basically, that is, like, kind of a blend of the two would be what I would have in front of me every single day.
We didn't get binders yet, right?
I have them in my office, if you haven't gotten them already. Okay, so I'm gonna be vulnerable with you guys, and I'm going to give you my 4-in-1, okay?
Be nice.
So, this is my 4-in-1, okay? The way that we split up the 4-in-1 is like this. 4-in-1 stands for 4 weeks, 1 month, 1 year. Okay, so we take the annual goal, right? And so this is gonna be the annual section. It's gonna be the monthly section. And then the weeks.
What was it, 4 weeks, 1 what?
1 month,
1 month.
1 year.
Okay.
Okay, and I recommend splitting this document up into the categories that I split it into. Job, business, personal financial, personal. Okay? You guys are gonna learn a lot about me in a second, okay? But the way that I added a couple little things I wanted to remind myself of, right? Growth is required, be nice. Because I'm looking at this all day, right? Only the disciplined ones in life are free. Otherwise, you are a slave to your moods and passions, right? I feel like sleeping in tonight, all right, or sleeping in today. Okay, well, there goes exercise. Then you're hustling around and you forget to spend time with your wife or kids before you leave. You know, the whole day gets out of whack, right? And then on the right-hand side, I have like a little project section, just like things that I don't need to deal with every single day, but things that projects that I wanna accomplish in March, right? That don't necessarily fall into one of those other categories, okay? So, everyone remember the difference between job and business? Okay, so here's what I did, is I took my 135, right? And I said to myself, what are the goals? And I'm still tweaking these a little, because they've been revisited a lot in the last 2 weeks, right?
What's happened?
Yeah. So, what we do is we take the big goals from the 135, right? And we transpose them onto the 4-in-1. So, and this is kind of a summary of a lot of the things that are metric based. So, job, if you read it with me, says attend models. There's a big Keller Williams models class in Austin. I want to go to it before the end of the year. Okay, so that's something that's important to my job. I want to get Roswell to 60% productivity, minimum. Meaning 60% of us are getting paid every month, which is way beyond the gold standard, but still pathetic in my opinion, okay? I want to get my broker's license. All I got to do is make a phone call, sit through 2 tests, done. I want to gross 30 people into my first level of profit share. The 2 is how many I've grossed year to date, right? So I'm tracking that. And I want 100 PC clients, okay? My business is my sales team, okay? I'm not actively going on appointments and stuff, but I still own the team, basically. I still pay for some systems, and I still have a huge database, and you know, there's income to be made there. So that's something I'd like to continue to nurture and continue to grow, right? So I said I want to get a partner for the family homes group. because I'm not gonna drive it, and Pam's not gonna drive it, so I need somebody to drive it, right?
Sounds like we need to talk. Would tomorrow at 2:30 or Monday
And
at
I'm
3:15?
gonna definitely need to see your 4-in-1 and 135, that's for sure.
Oh, yeah.
And a properly tagged command database, and the
Got
list
that.
goes on.
Got it.
You're gonna have a long night, okay?
Yes, steer.
We're gonna have some fun together, aren't we?
I'm already having fun.
I want profit share of $100,000 this year between my wife and I.
Is that what that means?
Yep. Family
Yours
Pia,
need to come with a key. I mean, like a,
right? So in January,
P.S.
together, my wife and I made a little over $4,400 in profit share.
oh, I see. So that's how far, that's saying this is how far we've,
Right,
This so
Q1 means
far-
I wanna do this in Q1, which I'm running out of time, right? I wanna add 500 people to my team's database this year. I wanna teach 2 times at market centers across the country that they give me an opportunity to invest in, right? I'd like to be a guest on a podcast.
Go back to the previous one, what does that mean?
So, we're probably a long ways off, but I've been courting this, a couple of offices in Colorado
Okay.
to become an investor in their market center. They're gonna give me an opportunity to invest in their market center, they're gonna want me to contribute something, right? Right, so they may want me to do a Zoom call or fly out there or whatever and pour into their ALC or their leadership or some of their agents or whatever. So I'd like to hop on a plane and go visit a couple of market centers with the hopes of continuing to build relationships so that I can get financial opportunities in the future. Make sense?
Yeah, okay.
I'd like to be a guest on a podcast, whatever the hell that means. I don't know what it means. We'll figure it out, okay? I have another business where I have a virtual assistant company. It's not a sales pitch, I'm just telling you what I do, okay? I own a virtual assistant company that I partnered with my virtual assistant, and we can help agents find and maintain the relationships of a virtual assistant, okay? I want 10 clients, I got 2. Okay.
that's your virtual assistant, ABA is your virtual assistant?
Yeah, Agent Business Advantage.
Okay, so yours needs to come with a key.
Yeah, sorry, you'll learn it soon, okay? And I wanna teach Quantum Leap for kids, okay? Personal, I'm going on a trip for Passover. Sorry, the little squiggly line means it's booked, it just hadn't been completed yet.
What is
It's
Passover?
Passover.
Yeah,
Okay.
Jewish holiday,
Okay.
okay? So these are just like some stuff that are important to me financially, okay? I wanna set aside $25,000, so when somebody says, I'm ready for you to be an investment partner, money's there. Cause that stuff happens quick, right? I think cryptocurrency is pretty cool, and I'd like to have more cryptocurrency than I have right now. You can judge me if you want, but I'm gonna put a little cash into that,
Apparently you can make good money.
Bitcoin.
right? I'd like to go through the experience of a wholesale flip. Okay, never done it before. I wanna meet some people who do it. I wanna find out what they're enjoying, what they're not enjoying, where the mistakes they've made. I wanna figure out how to find these places, and I wanna bankroll one of them, and I wanna make a few $1,000s, whatever. I just wanna be involved in that process. I wanna learn that world, right? I need to sell my house,
We
right?
need to talk. Sounds like we need to talk. Would tomorrow at 3:15 or Monday at 4:00 better?
I'm very impressed with your scripting, but I only hire agents that I review their 4-in-1 first.
Okay.
Okay.
Got it.
I wanna have a $10,000 fund that is for my family, that I call it my giving fund, right? How many people come up to you during the year and ask for money? Whether it's the guy on the street, or whether it's like, hey, this guy's, I'll give you an example. I have it wasn't so much of a friend, but he was a very good friend, with one of my very good friends. I went to high school with him. He moved out to California. Last week, he went to the hospital with kidney stone. They let him go. They said, you passed this thing at home. Went home, went to bed, never woke up. Okay? So we're still waiting to see what happened. Did he, maybe overdosed on pain medication, or maybe it had some type of blockage and something stopped working. Anyway, never woke up. Dude's 40 years old, not even 40 years old. Okay?
Maybe what a kiddies.
Doesn't have any family. So he wants to get buried, or his intention, I guess I don't know how they communicated this, but he didn't have any money to bring the body from California to Atlanta. So a few of our friends put up a GoFundMe or whatever it's called, right? Wouldn't it be cool just to write a check for that,
Oh my God, yes.
right?
Oh my God, yes.
Right, here's a family that's dealing with all kinds of unexpected tragedy.
Just fix it.
Wouldn't it be cool if you could just fix it, right? That's the power of this business.
That's
Right.
that's.
I want a
getting
little
close to my
cash
big wife
where I
as I'm
can
getting
just
older.
say, done. Okay, can't afford school for your kid? Done. Can't afford your monthly medications? Done.
Your house burned down,
Right.
you need someplace to stay, done.
Easy, we're little stuff.
Okay, I think big.
I love it. Okay, so these are just, I don't need to go through a diatribe about every one, but these are just things that are goals to me, right? How many people do I want to add to my profit share tree? How many people do I want in my first level downline? Personal stuff, I want to read some books. Every year I want to take 2 trips with my family. Every year I want to take 2 trips with just my wife. Okay? I want to start a book that I've been thinking about writing. Okay? Every once in a while I jot down a few ideas, I stash it in the Google Drive, and I haven't done anything with it yet. I'd like to do that. I said I want to meet Luth. Luth's my assistant, we were business partners, we've been in business together for 4 years, never met her. She lives in the Philippines,
That might be a trip.
right? I told her, I said, look, I told her 4 years ago, I said, I'm gonna build this profit share thing and I'm gonna need some help. So the first month we hit 10 grand, I'm taking you and your whole family to Hawaii, and me and my whole family to Hawaii, and we're gonna meet there. Right,
That's awesome.
That's thinking big.
Nice job.
right?
So you're going this year?
That's the intention. I had a month of $9,200 2 years ago and a month of $9,300 last year, so I better hit it this year. That's the plan,
There you
right? So these are things that are important to me, so how's it gonna happen? So I gotta chunk it down, right? So then you go to the monthly section. So this is gonna be the most useful when you have numbers attached to it, okay? So for example, and this is not completely complete, but what it should say is, if I'm gonna have 100 PC students or PC clients by the end of the year, how many do I need to have by the end of the current month, right? So really what it should say is a blank here that says, I wanna have, I don't know, let's say 30 or 35 by the end of the month, right? And then it should have, I wanna grow it by 10 a month. So again, this is not completely finalized, but what you should do is take the big goal and chunk it down into what do I need to do each month in order to pull that off, in order to be on track, right? So if my goal was to lose 20 pounds, I need to lose 2 pounds a month, right? Make sense?
Yep.
So I wanna do 4 business planning workshops. I wanna do 4 business tip videos. I wanna have 90-day meetings each month, right? On the business side, I need to add 50 people each month, and I wanna have 3 units close each month for my sales team. I wanna invite all the people that are helping me grow my profit share tree by helping me execute all the systems that I was executing to make all this stuff happen. I'm gonna take them out to dinner once a month and say, thank you, what can I do to help you? Right? Because they're helping me build my passive income while I'm in here doing something different. Make sense? It's like leveraging or something. It's like insane the opportunities this company has. Okay? Let's go to, and a learning lunch. So I wanna take somebody that's smarter than me or better than me or richer than me to lunch every month,
Oh my God, that's a great idea.
right? Somebody that's figured out something I hadn't figured out. And I'm gonna go buy them a sandwich so they can tell me something I don't know. Does that make sense?
Yep.
So, and I wanna add 1 virtual assistant client each month, right? So I've broken it down into how is this gonna happen that I'm gonna get 10 by the end of the year? I gotta do 1 a month, cause I might lose 1. Somebody may, we've had, I think we've had 3 or 4 examples of us helping a team get a virtual assistant, and then us losing that client because they went and hired somebody in-house. Now, Gene Rivers in Career Visioning would tell you, that's cool because a virtual assistant is for stabilization. An in-house assistant is for growth. So we helped them get stable, and then it was time for them to grow. and our particular offering wasn't as valuable to them anymore. Make sense? That's cool, right? Personal financial. I wanna finalize my vision board. I wanna create a meditation plan. I don't know anything about
One.
meditation, but I think it's probably gonna help me. I gotta do some research on that.
You skipped one.
What did I skip?
Sell the house.
Sell the house.
But tomorrow at 3:15 and Monday at 4. be
Enough of
better.
you, okay? I wanna review my net worth every month. What's that mean? I need to make a list of everything that I own and everything that I owe, right? And as I'm making financial decisions and I'm making time decisions and I'm getting an opportunity to make investments, I get a chance to confirm that these are things that are improving my net worth, not lowering my net worth. Make sense?
I have a quick question.
Yeah,
Finish office decoration, is that office at home, office here?
here.
Why wouldn't that be over here, under something else? Since that's a business, or is it?
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, actually.
So
Yeah,
would it be?
probably 'cause I have to buy
It
it.
would be job or, oh.
You're
So that
right,
would be job or
that's-
business? I'm confused.
That would probably be job.
Job,
Yeah.
right,
So I'm glad you mentioned that. Well,
okay. Not being picky, I just wanna understand.
No, that's a good question. All right, so here, I'm glad you said that, Heather. So the purpose of this is an accountability tool. Okay, so let's say Heather and I are accountability partners. If she sends this to me every week, and we're gonna get to the week here in a second, but if she sends this to me every week, then I know if she's on track for her goals. And I also know if she's off track for her goals. And by the way, I know the things that are important to her. So, for example, let's say, just, again, this is not a sales pitch, but let's say if I looked at her 411 and it said, hire a virtual assistant, right? And I say, how interesting, this woman needs a virtual assistant. Maybe I can pull her aside and tell her what I can offer her, right?
I just text Carrie a deal that you can offer her something.
Yeah.
Because she told me, hey, I really need an assistant. I wish our market center could help us with that. At Family Reunion, I met a team lead who helps their people. And I'm like, did you know Bill has a virtual assistant company?
There you go, when you share your goals, more opportunities happen, right? I shared with the world, and I haven't shared this with hardly anybody, that I kind of have some interest in learning more about meditation, okay? I don't know if it's for me or not, but
So somebody will
if I
come
can
along and
figure out a
hook you
way to
up.
like kind of calm this thing down,
Love
it's
it.
probably gonna be helpful.
I meditate every day.
And love it.
Okay,
I
so
do it every day.
I'd love to hear more about your experience with motivation, or meditation, right? So if I share my goals, somebody could hook me up with that. I told you all I want to be on a podcast. I don't know really why I want to be on a podcast, but I'm hoping somebody has a connection to one that I can get on one.
I will say that, like, I feel like you see it a lot on Facebook where people will be like, oh, move in silence, don't tell people what you're doing or whatever, but I disagree with that.
I disagree with that too.
I feel like you need to put it out there so that not only people hold you accountable, and it's not about bragging, but it's about like, I'm gonna put this out there so I can do it. So like when people are at the gym and they post all the time that they post a gym selfie, or I went to the gym today, and you have this whole side of Facebook who's like, why are you gonna always post what you're doing at the gym? Who cares? Just do it for you. Mind your business. If
Well-
it's not gonna touch you in a way that you can positively help them, scroll past it.
You know what? I think
Oh
that
my
they're
God,
not
it takes more
posting.
time to be
That'd be
an ass
nice.
than
They're
it
not.
does to be nice.
They're not
really.
posting it for you.
Right.
They're posting it for
But
them.
also, they're
So-
posting it for other people too, because they may find inspiration in that.
Exactly.
And somebody else may go, you know what, Jody's been at the gym 15 days in a row, I really need to get off this couch today.
Exactly. And so that's why I wrote be nice, you know,
Right.
like,
Yes.
Oh,
that's
my
somebody
gosh,
else's
that'd be
thing,
nice.
just let it be,
Yeah.
right? Like, I'm not a huge public sharer, right? But, like, I don't need to tell the whole world that, you know, that I wanna be on a podcast,
Right.
but I'll tell you
But
guys.
if you tell the right people,
Yeah.
the opportunity may come.
Exactly, right? I don't know anything about meditation, and there's about 3,000 YouTubers talking about selling something, and I don't wanna buy any of that crap, I just wanna have a real conversation about it,
My
right?
stepson recently told me he's writing a screenplay. I was like, oh, that's so cool. Hold on a second, I have someone to connect you with. And I met through a group of other people, an award-winning screenwriter who lives here in Atlanta, and I set them up. And so he'd never even known a screenwriter before, but because he shared that with me, I was able to open a door for him.
That's right. Let that
Sort
sink
of
in,
like the
everybody, I
kitty
mean,
cat.
that's some important stuff there,
Yeah.
that's some important stuff, yeah.
Yeah, so, all right, so I just want to get some clarity. So So in your job section, you have, broker's license, but in your personal monthly, you have broker's license. Should that be under job? Like, I just wanna know how I should, if my,
Say that one more time.
so under job, in your annual goals.
Yeah.
You have broker's license.
Yep.
And then in your personal, in your monthly goals, you have broker's license on the personal financing.
Man, you guys are good.
So should you?
Yeah, yeah,
I mean,
you're
I
right.
just wanna
Tough
make sure
crowd,
that I
tough
do it
crowd.
right.
No, you're right, you're right.
So
Keep
I
it all
just wanna make sure
organized.
I have it in the right.
Yeah.
I can see, I can understand how that you would think, because to get your broker's license, it takes away from your personal time.
Yeah, but more than
Right.
likely it was a typo.
Okay.
So
No, I
which-
just wanna, for when I.
You're right,
apply,
you're right, I got no
wanna make
beef.
sure
Okay, so it's
I'm
job.
Appreciative.
We'll move that one.
Okay, personal, I wanna have some date nights, I wanna exercise a certain amount of days each year, or each month, I wanna read a certain amount of books, right? I wanna journal daily, I wanna read daily, and I wanna hire a personal trainer, which has been on my calendar for about a year and a half, right? Obviously, it doesn't appear to be as important as I would have thought a year and a half ago, but it's still there, so I read it every damn day. Okay, one day it'll happen, right?
So, that's a very important point you made there. So what's supposed to happen if you don't, like, do something?
Here's the
in
thing,
your- in your
you're gonna
monthly-
get a number of different opinions on this, right? Do you set really high goals and if you miss it, you're still among the stars, right? Or do you set a goal that's like, I'm gonna, eat 3 meals a day and so you can check it off? Like, do y'all ever write down something in your calendar that you've already done so that you can put a check mark by it?
Absolutely.
Okay, like there's a psychological
It's like a
thing there,
validation. Did it.
right?
Yep.
And you're gonna have to kind of figure that out on your own. Am I gonna be better off setting a really high goal and pushing myself to get it, and if not, I would have had a whole lot more than I would have had I set a lower goal? Or do you set a goal, not hit it, even though you had a really high level of success, and beat yourself up because there's a gap? Right? Are you that type of person? Or are you the type of person that will set a definitely achievable goal, and then once you hit it, you pack it in even though you know you can do more, right? So you're gonna have to know yourself pretty well in order to know which type of goals you ought to set. Does that make sense? Like, I tend to set what I would call more realistic goals, right? Because I just feel like I've had more success that way. Like, I can get the whole, like, let's say I wanna sell 200 homes this year, even though I know I only have the money, the bandwidth, the systems, the people, the tech to sell 100. How is that gonna be helpful?
Well, then you're gonna feel bad about the 100 you didn't sell. It's
That's
the
right.
same thing about losing 20 pounds. You're not gonna look at it like, oh, I have 20, so you're gonna set a goal of 20, and then you're gonna say, okay, I need to lose 5 in 2 weeks, and then 5 in 2 weeks, and in smaller increments, it's still gonna get you to the place, it's just not gonna happen overnight.
And they have to be, the whole point is to do it.
Right.
So you don't
Exactly.
wanna put stuff on there that.
So I would think the personal trainer falling over every year is just a reminder, like, hey, I gotta do this, I've done
Right.
X, Y, Z, I need to get to that.
So, yeah,
So, and so to that point, all your points, if I put something on my calendar and as a PC coach or as accountability, if they keep asking me about it, should I take it off if I can't get to it? Or what should I
What's
do? Or
important
should
to
I
you?
modify it?
that's,
What's important to you?
it's it depends. Because if I see your 411, and I see your 411 over month after month after month, or week after week after week, and the thing isn't getting checked off, I might say to you, hey Charleston, just out of curiosity, like, is saving money for that second house still important to you? Right? No judgment. You just tell me it is or it isn't, right? And you say, yeah. I said, well, help me understand why it's on there, right? And what would progress look like for you so that today we're further along towards that goal than we were yesterday, right? So that's just an opportunity for a coaching moment, right?
Okay.
And then you might say, actually, I just got divorced, and so I got no purpose for that second house. Okay, let's take it off. We'll quit talking about it.
Okay.
Okay. But if it's something you want, it should remain on there because it's another thing that your accountability partner or your coach can bring up to you to say, hey, Marie, you said you want to make 400 grand this year. Is that still, you don't appear like you're anywhere close to that. Is that goal still important to you? Yes.
Yep.
Is there anything going on in your personal life that I should be aware of that is preventing you from being on track? No. Okay. Do you have all the tools and resources and technology and support that you need to achieve this goal?
Yes.
What the hell's going on?
And distracted by
Okay, well, what do you get distracted by? You distracted by people at the water pool?
coronavirus.
Quit looking at the news. Next. Put on a mask and go sit in your office and make some damn phone calls.
Right to the point, succinct.
I mean, what, I don't really know any other way. I don't really know any other way. It's
Sometimes
like,
I see you, I get giddy.
being nice is
Giddy,
bringing up
I-
your
I
goals
can't
to
get
you,
over
so you
giddy.
can give them to
Giddy.
you and your people
it
that
on
are
my
depending
list.
on you,
Kitty the kitty.
Giddy, the kitty.
right? So, let's move down to the weekly real fast, okay? So what we did is
Chunk it down again, right?
chunk it down again. So here's how my plan for my job. And there's a lot of stuff on the job weekly that really should also be on the job monthly. So I've been reworking this a little bit. This is just what it looked like this morning, okay? So in order for me to get 100 PC clients, and in order for me to make sure that those people are productive, and in order for me to make sure that all the metrics that are gonna be expected of me are achieved, I'm gonna have to have some appointments. I basically have the same job you guys do, right?
Lead generation.
I'm generating leads. So I'm generating leads from within the office, or let me rephrase that. I'm generating appointments from the people in the office already,
That would be internal.
internal. And then my intention is to also do the same thing externally.
Which is the
So
whole
for
rest of the
example,
world.
do you think that if, let's pick on Century 21 for a second. There is without a doubt an agent at Century 21 today who is not making the amount of money they desire to make. Does anyone want to fight me on that?
Nope.
Okay. And because they're not making, or which probably led to the fact that they're not making the kind of money they wanted to make, I would venture to say that a lack of a plan is a giant reason why. Would anyone disagree with that?
No.
Okay. Do you think that after the last hour and 40 minutes that we spent together, if that agent was in this room, they would probably leave with a clear idea of what their goal, priority, strategy, and time ought to look like?
Yes.
Do you think they could have benefited from that?
Yes.
Do you think that if you had invited that Coldwell Banker, or whatever I said, Century 21 agent into the room for free, right? And you have my permission, just so that's totally clear.
Okay.
Like your friend we were talking about earlier,
Yeah, that was I was gonna just ask you that question.
right?
Or
Right.
maybe Jeff Metter.
Oh my gosh. We're being recorded, but yes, can we talk about that, please?
Yeah, I
No
mean,
reason why you should be there. None.
Jeff, okay, well, just so you
We're
know,
being-
Jeff.
we're being
okay.
recorded.
Okay, good. We have a connection, friendship.
Good.
So
And
I can,
he ain't getting what he needs there. I promise you. I know how much money he makes, and he should be making more.
and what he's paying them is astonishing.
They are the most expensive brokerage in town. Their
Century 21.
monthly fee is double what we have. They have a 30% split with no cap and no
Yeah,
chance of reducing
right.
the split,
30%
and no
in-
chance of capping,
in
and no
perpetuity.
profit share.
In perpetuity.
What company was on?
Century 21.
21.
Okay, so, with all that said, you bring somebody into a group like this, and it's gonna change their life. Nobody's poured into them at this level. No one's given them the cheat sheet, see what I'm saying? So I wanna orchestrate a certain number of external appointments, right? So that I can help grow this program, and so I can bring more people into the room that are gonna help support your goals. Make sense? I got a couple calls I gotta deal with every week, right? We have a PC development call, I'm gonna have a MAPS coach, I talk to Robert once a week. 15 times we have a leadership huddle a week, right in the morning. I wanna review my goals a certain number of times. I have a little piece of paper that I read every day, or I'm not so good at it, but that's my intention. It's printed out, it's pretty. I just don't pick it up every day, right?
So the.
I love the fact you laugh at almost everything I say. It makes me so happy.
So the 15.
You're very good for my self-confidence. We should have met a long time ago. Go ahead.
So the 15 internal appointment, when you said the 8, that's what you've accomplished so far this week?
Yes, and I wanna go through two different options on how to track that. but
Okay.
Don't let me forget, it's really important. So this week, remember, is let's say March 1st through March 7th. 15 was actually my goal for the month, okay?
Oh, okay.
But I'm already at 8.
Okay.
Right, 15 external appointments, that's my goal for the month, I'm only at 1. Honestly, because I'm working on you guys first, because you're already in the building,
Right.
right? I gotta get this thing organized and tight and figured out before I go bring in a bunch of strangers,
Right.
right? Not that they don't need the help, right? I wanna make 100 care calls per month. So this is a project that Melody and I are working on together, where we look at the roster every day, we pick 5 people that we haven't seen in a while, or maybe we're worried about them, or maybe somebody that just had a surgery, or, you know, we have an agent that's getting married tomorrow, that kind of stuff, right? Call them, love on them, see if there's anything we can do.
So
Right.
these are people in your organization or any?
In this office.
In this office.
Not just in my personal PC
Okay.
program or downline or anything, this is agents in the office, right? I'm a leader in the office, something I ought to be doing, right? And by the way, guess what we can also assume from the people that we don't see that much? They're struggling, right? And what's a good solution for somebody that's struggling?
Attention.
PC coaching. See the relationship?
Leads.
I'm a nice guy, but you know,
Leads.
it's an opportunity.
Listings.
Yeah,
Leads, listings, leverage.
that's right. Yes, sir.
So those same care cards, we can do also to our database.
You absolutely should.
God, that's a
Right.
great idea.
So
Let's
you
see
could
how
be
we can-
doing like the D2, what is it? I can't never say
I
it
never
right.
can remember, it's D2,
Right,
D,
D22, yeah.
something like that.
So basically it says every week, like this week, I'm gonna call everyone in my database that.
Starts with B and E.
Yeah, if your last name starts with B or E, you're gonna hear from me this week.
Which, by the way, you can make as a custom tag.
That's right, I already have.
I have two.
Well, my assistant did, because I don't know how to do that stuff. Right? So, like, you want your people to have, you know, like, I remember, this just a random thought came to mind. I remember calling somebody, it's a number of years ago, and I called her back, I'm like, hey, did you get the list of homes that I sent you? What'd you think? She's like, you didn't send me homes. I said, yes, I did. Check your email. She said, I swear. I said, I'm gonna hold right now, you go check it. Right? Because she was telling me that I didn't do something I promised I would do. And I knew that wasn't the case. And I said, look, if I tell you I'm gonna do something and I don't do it, call the cops.
Cause I probably did.
Something's wrong, right? So like, you want your people to like, think the same way about you when you make promises. Make sense? So that might be, I'm gonna execute my DTD2 strategy, and that means every week I need to know which letters I'm calling, and you better expect a call from me, right? Weekly calendar plan. Every week I need to plan out the following week, right? It's got to do some business tip videos. Got a little bet with one of our agents on who can get the first recruit in here, whether it's gonna be him or me, through a command ad. And guess what? I hadn't posted it yet, so I'm not doing so good in that bet, okay? But it's on my list. It's eventually gonna get done, because I'm staring at it every 5 times a day, right? Schedule the broker's test. Request the progress reports for what y'all's business activity has been this week. Business, I wanna huddle with Pam. I wanna talk to her about what's going on in the business, who are our hottest leads, what transactions are we monitoring, any issues we need to talk about, what should we do in command this week, are we spending money properly, right? Have we been interviewing anyone that might take over your seat, right? Top 25 program, that's also been on there for a while. That's like, who are my top 25 people in my database that would like go through a wall to help me build my business? I wanna create a program with them so they know how important they are to me, right? Maybe I'll take them to a Braves game, or taking them out for a glass of wine or whatever. I gotta start pouring into those people, right? And then it breaks down the personal stuff on what I need to do. Now, what I did, this is the point I was having you bring back up to me, Charleston. So let's say, let's say that my annual goal is to sell 48 homes. That means my monthly goal is to sell 4. Now, what I could do is, and this is right, week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4, right? There's 2 options to do here. You could say, I'm gonna sell 1 home, 1 home, 1 home, and 1 home, right? Because you do that 4 weeks, you hit your goal. I kind of prefer to do it the other way, which is, I'm gonna sell 4 homes here. Because here, what ends up happening is, let's say you don't sell a home this week, right? And you sell 1 this week, but you're still 1 behind, so that actually needs to read 2 right now. But then I only sell 1. Actually, let's say I don't sell any, so this week I gotta sell 3 and it's already the end of the week. I mean, like, I think it's I'm more likely to hit my goal when I do it this way. When I basically transpose everything from the monthly section to the first week, and then track how many I'm doing each day, or each week, right? So let's say I'm at 3, then the next week when I'm making my 411, I say I only need to sell 3 homes. So then I sell 2, now I only have to sell 1, I sell my 1, I don't have to, that's done, can move on to something different.
In week 1 of ramp up, Chad Peavy says go top heavy.
Which is what I've done.
Yeah, front load your week, front load your month, front load your year, so that you can smooth sail later.
That's right, that's right. I mean, wouldn't it be kind of cool to like hit goals that you never imagined you would accomplish by like October and November and just take it easy around the holidays?
Or keep going.
Or keep
That was a
going.
trick question, good job. Does that make sense? So let's say another goal of mine is to, let's say read a book. Actually, let's say I wanna read 2 books. I'm sorry. I wanna put it here. 2 books each month. So I put 2 books. First week I don't do any, so I still gotta do 2. Next week, I do 1, so now I only have to do 1. Then I do 0, so now I still have to do 1, and I check it off in the last week. Or, I don't. And if it's really important to me, then I'll bring it back over here for the following month, and now instead of doing 2, I need to do 3.
So you're saying we should set a 411 every month?
No, every week.
Every week.
No, okay, so initially you set one for the year, and then you break it down.
Well, essentially what you're doing is you're doing the top 2 parts.
Okay,
You do that, like this is your yearly goal.
okay.
Then everything that divided by 12 would be your monthly goal, right? And then each week, you are doing.
You're achieving your month.
Right, and then what I generally do is at the end of each week, I would then go up and, like, I haven't done it technically because the week hasn't ended, but let's say I exercised 1 time this week so far. So at the end of the week, I would write how many I did here, and then I would go up to the month and update the month. Right? So, like, I have 2 books that I want to read before the end of March, and I'm a little ADD, so I'm in the middle of 3 books right now, but I'll probably finish all 3 within the next week or so. So that'll just get wiped out, and I'll be able to focus my time on something different. Does that make sense?
Yep.
All right, what questions do we have?
No, I don't have any questions, but I got a ton of good ideas.
So in the weekly goal, you would put everything that you have in the monthly in here, and then you would just.
As you're chipping away at those,
Chip away,
this list is less than this.
yeah.
Right? And meanwhile, it's a fluid document, right? So if, like, let's say, you know, my goal is to buy a dog this week, or this month. Do it, check it off, mark it off. Get at it, stop looking at it, right? All your mental energy should be devoted to something different, because that thing's already done.
Where
Right.
can we get an electronic version of this?
I will put one in, of that one, I'll put it in a Google Drive. So basically, here's the way I've been doing it. Once you commit to the program, you sign your paperwork, I send you the WhatsApp group, I send you, and I'll hand you a binder, so grab one before you leave. And then the next thing we'll do is start to send you the ramp up login. And I haven't established this yet, but the YouTube channel and the special Google Drive. So once those are in place, I'll share those with you so you can access it all. But I have this in a doc file, so you can use this format and just change out the
Well,
stuff
that's
that.
what I mean.
Yeah,
That-
yeah.
Just the blank.
Yeah, exactly.
document, So I can start
Exactly.
doing some of this.
There's a variety of, you could search for, 411 template through Google
There's a
and
411
figures, if you don't like this
tool.
one.
It's a
What?
411 tool in KW, like when you go to your mykw.com,
Mhm.
under, so like technology, you scroll down, it's like 401 tool.
Oh, I've never used that one before.
Yeah.
Okay.
No,
And you
it's
can-
that
and you can update it it updates all the time.
After you do your monthly 401 and then your weekly 401, do you add it to your Google Calendar? 'Cause like, I'll handwrite
I'm
my
glad you
stuff
brought that up.
weekly, and then
I
I'll
don't-
add it to my Google Calendar.
I wouldn't, and for me personally, I don't add like every little detail to the Google Calendar, but what you need to do then is say, at a time when there was little pressure in my world, and I was totally focused on thinking about the things that I've determined are most important to me in job, business, financial, and personal, this is what I came up with. So, only way this stuff is gonna happen is if I have time to do it, right? So, for example, if I wanna exercise once, 5 or 6 times a week, if I looked at your calendar, could I tell that that's something that's important to you?
I'm like time blocking everything.
So this stuff has to get time blocked. That's kind of the final stage, is it goes from the 135 to the 4-in-1 to a time blocked version of your calendar, right? So for example, if I looked at your calendar, could I tell you were a real estate agent?
Yeah.
If I looked at your calendar, could I tell exercise was important to you? If it was, right? If I looked at your calendar, would I know that eating healthy was important to you? I'm not asking you specifically, but like if I claim that, I'm gonna make my lunches and I'm gonna eat better food and all that, do I have time to do that? Right? Do I have an appointment with myself to do this work? Does that make sense? Okay. So here's what I would like for you to do. I want you to go through the several of examples of the 135 and the 4-in-1 that you've got and start to personalize it to yourself, okay? We are gonna have, as part of the program, some one-on-ones. However, they're gonna be earned, for lack of a better way to put it, right? So there's gonna be some expectation that you're reporting your numbers, that you're using the tools, that you are just as serious about your business and your time, so that we can have a productive meeting.
Part of our, like, handing in our weekly reports and stuff is, are we handing in a 401 to you weekly too?
If
Or
you
is
want
something
that-
we exchange with our accountability partner? Like, what-
I would definitely suggest that you exchange it with your accountability partner. These are all tools and systems that we believe will increase your business. If you choose to, whoever you choose to share it with is up to you. So like, for example, this is a point I wanted to make earlier, like Andy used to send all of us his 4-on-1 every week. So I'd look at his 4-on-1, say, hey, Andy's a little behind on listing appointments this week, right? Maybe there's something I can do to help him. Ooh, Andy's got a new personal goal, he wants to buy a boat. Ooh, I got a boat for sale, maybe I ought to call him about that, right? I don't, and he doesn't, but that's my point, like, he might have something in his world that I can help him with. And if I share my 4-on-1 with him, vice versa could happen. So he had something that popped up on his 4-on-1 a couple months ago, and I called him on it, and I said, ooh, I'm kinda interested in that too. So if you find something out, you let me know. And it's on my 4-on-1, so if I find something out, I'll let you know, right? That forges the relationship, do you see what I'm saying? So, if you feel that it would increase your likelihood of achieving your goals, and you want me to hold you accountable to something, send it to me. If you wanna wake up at 5 o'clock every morning, and take a picture of your face next to 5 o'clock on the alarm every morning. If that would help you, send it to me.
I'm trying, I think, I'm trying.
These are, I'm just spouting out ideas.
I
There's
know,
no
but I do
mandates.
try to get up at 5 AM and then I'm like, ugh, I'll snooze. Some days I get up at 5 AM. It's a struggle.
Well,
Well, cause I got this guy snoring in my ear all damn night. If you didn't do that, I could sleep
Sound-
better.
that sounds like a
You know what I
personal
mean?
problem.
Right, I'm about to get
all right,
myself-
I'm gonna make one more
I think
point before we,
Elroy works.
before we
I've
finish
done that
this.
shit, trust me.
This, when you had no, when you were not under the gun, and these are the things that you determine were most important for your world, right? This is your priority, right? So number one, you got a time block for it. Number two, you gotta look at it,
You really gotta master your
right?
schedule.
I personally think it's cool to have this digital, but you ought to print it out too, so it's staring you right in the face. The next point is that if you don't know what your priority is, meaning if you choose not to look at it or not to fill it out or not to prioritize it, then what naturally happens is that you still want to be busy every day. And if you can't focus on your priorities each day, then you end up focusing on other people's priorities, right? And so you get to your computer in the morning, you say, well, actually, I have no idea what I'm supposed to do today, so I guess I'll just check my email. That's where everyone else's priorities are. Oop, I wonder if anyone's posted anything on Facebook that looks cool. I'm gonna spend an hour looking at that. Has anyone texted me? Let's see if anyone's texted me. Meanwhile, nothing's happened on your priorities. So if you're not focused and disciplined and you have time blocked to execute on your priorities, you'll end up spending your whole day dealing with other people's priorities. And other people's priorities live in email, Facebook, texting, LinkedIn, direct messages, all that kind of stuff, right? So you need to establish some disciplines on when you earmark time to work on the stuff that's most important to you.
I will time block time to like stare at space,
Yeah.
because if not, you'll get lost in the rabbit hole.
Right.
I'll
Chad Heim?
post on my Facebook business page, and then I find myself like, oh, let me look at my notifications, and then I'm like, no, don't do that, don't do that. And it's so hard, you really have to train yourself,
Yeah.
so you have to train yourself.
Chad Himes used to joke that he would plan spontaneity.
Right.
Right.
Exactly.
Like, I will be spontaneous from 6 to 7 on Thursdays.
Right, it's the truth.
And when I show up to quote be spontaneous, then I'll figure out what I'm gonna do. But if it ain't on my calendar, it ain't gonna happen.
Yep.
Okay. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Before I